Test, test. Okay. Well, that was fun, wasn't it? That was super cool. You should go back to the facility and do that challenge with the team. It'll be fun. So, next up, we have someone with Aline, which you guys use all the time, right? It's our CRM. It's obviously something you're in every day, checking out reporting. But as you guys know, Aline is an all-in-one senior living software designed to streamline sales, marketing, operations, leasing, billing, and resident care. They simplify the workflows within senior living community with a powerful, easy-to-use solution built for the industry unique needs. And we leverage them every single day. They're a great partner of ours. We have the pleasure to have Brian Ellis, the Senior Director of Solution Consultants, come speak with you guys today. So welcome, Brian.
John is a tough act to follow. So, does anyone know rock, paper, scissors? We're not going to do that. Thank you very much, Chad. I really appreciate the invitation. I wanted to kind of kick us off with the question. Who wakes up in the morning and says, I love my CRM? Show hands. Is that because it maybe is something that is work you feel like you have to do versus something that's helping you do your work? Possibly. Aline, we spend a lot of time thinking about this. We think about how do we elevate aging and how do we do it in a way that is beneficial for the teams that use our solutions. This is not working. Working on that, no problem. I like to talk. So what we're thinking about as an organization a lot is how do we take the solutions that we've developed and put together strategically over the years and make them more efficient. Make them so that instead of an engine that tracks all of your leads and all of your prospects and all of your activities, it rolls up so that executives can read great reports that I'm sure you all know. How do we actually turn a CRM into a recommendations engine? How do we use intelligence behind a lot of the features and functions that you might be using to provide you with quicker lead summarization? Click to call, one click to text, one click to chat, outreach functionality. How do we leverage AI with that summarization to support you with opportunity scores that enable you to look at all of the prospects' information in real time as it comes in and summarize it and feed it to you so that you are smarter, sharper, and better at engaging with those prospects. And so that's what I wanted to walk through today. Essentially, some of the things that we're thinking about, right? How do sellers leverage technology to be more efficient versus how do sellers spend downtime, non-productive time filling out forms inside of the CRM? I've been in sales for 25 years. Thank you, I know I look young, I appreciate that. But it is a lot of time that you spend in a tool, and what value are you getting out of it? And so what we've been doing is, how many of you are familiar with, so Aline is 3 CRMs essentially that came together over the years, and Inquire, which is predominantly the CRM you're using as our hub. That is the backbone of our CRM. But how many of you are familiar with Sherpa CRM? Hands? Okay. So Sherpa CRM was actually designed as more of a methodology, a value-based selling methodology. So we think about prospect-centered selling. What are the things that you're doing to really build engagement with your leads and with your prospects? Because ultimately, that's a reflection of your brand, and that drives your occupancy. That drives your future lead volume. And so really we're thinking about how do we create a more personalized experience and you don't lose connection with your leads with the automation. Now, in most situations, when we think about how we optimize using AI, a lot of times people are like, I think that the lead summarization is helpful. It's a very manual thing for me right now. I pull all the information together. But what do I do with that? How do I track the leads? How do I manage the leads? And so we're getting much smarter about how we pull data in. We have web forms and integrations with places like A Place for Mom, Caring.com, that feeds that data directly into a task management list. That can be automated so that you can track any of your hot tasks, hot leads, so you can start to look at pending leads that you might want to stay in touch with. And then we'll have a communications package that will enable you to connect with that individual through a one-button click or a one-button touch. And so, the visuals would really be dynamic right now, but I'm going to act this out for you and kind of, I'm not going to do this. So, a couple of questions for you, more rhetorical. But when we think about how we're using technology day to day, how many of you go into your CRM and have a roll-up of everything you need to do for that day, with recommendations and some type of a qualification around why those tasks are the most important? Yeah, exactly. What we find is, as we talk to our customers and as we look at how they're using CRM, most of them find that the information is disparate, it's in pockets. And so one of the things we've thought a lot about is how do we create a command center? How do we create a central hub and reorganize the dashboards and the data so that only the critical information that is very important to you shows up? So we're thinking about how do we organize it as your goals. What are my activity goals? What are my performance goals? We think about calendar integrations. Google, Outlook, pulling on that data in real time. What's happening in my day-to-day? We think about our sales stage. What is our sales stage? How's that being mapped and where am I at? Opportunity score. Aggregation of all of the key metrics and criteria for your lead bubbled up into a score that you can use to validate whether you think what you're hearing is real. Oh man, they said they were going to move in 2 weeks and I feel really good about this one. Why is their opportunity score like 10? Well, that's a good question. So there's a little bit of test but verify in that. We also think about how do we take those leads that are coming in and track those leads for you, as I mentioned earlier, across different stages. Our effort as a product team has been heads down to centralize all those critical pieces into one unified dashboard. So as a seller, when I log in, I have a single pane of glass that shows me all of the information I need to know. It's rolling up all of those leads and prioritizing them for me. It's summarizing all of the prospect information for me. All of my referral information is right there at my fingertips, and it's all being fed in real time through our integrations and bubbled up to you. So, as we think about how to make life easier and how to make our CRM more efficient for you, these are really important topics that we're talking about all the time. Right now, we're thinking into the future a little bit about how do we take our AI and double down on it so that we're able to actually do things like Inquire IQ, which can actually go out to the open web and source any publicly available information that it can scrape and pull it into our system. So we're educating you beyond just what's on the profile information that's collected on the web forms. We're thinking about how do we look at third-party or external sources as well. Now, some of our customers are thinking about Aline full suite. This is coupling together multiple products. So instead of just CRM, maybe you're using our care or our EMR, or maybe you're thinking about how do I make a smarter mousetrap for my sales teams. So instead of just having CRM with leads from a place from honorcaring.com, maybe we're going to use our web survey tool, Rubric, to capture pre-lead information. People who are on our website that might just be pre-looking or pre-lead, they're investigating, they're looking at different places that they might want mom or dad to go to. How do we capture them early and feed that information into the CRM? With Rubric, we also have the ability to do duplicate catching. So anytime a lead would come in, if you already have that lead, we keep it as a shadow record, fancy words. No like ninja vanish or anything. It's pretty simple. We track the record as it comes in, we make a note of it, and then if that lead then comes back in, the system catches it, flags it, and you don't have to pay for it, right? You already have that lead. So how do we get smarter on the front end so that we can catch top of funnel before it even gets to CRM, and then notify through assignment to the right seller, or reassign it to the right person? We're also thinking about on the back end, contact center. A lot of our customers nowadays are like, we want to be front line of defense, right? When a lead comes in, we want to be able to have the call, really engage with that lead, really understand what's going on, but we can't catch them all. We're a small team. We're scaling up. We could use some help. We need a force multiplier. And so we're supplementing with our communications and contact center. And so we'll have our communications package, as we mentioned, which is your email, your text, your chat. It's all embedded into the CRM. Everything you send out is automatically logged, captured, and indexed into the lead, into the profile. Obviously, that can all feed through other systems. But we're also thinking about how can we be a team that can do the outreach for you. And so we're experts. We're senior living experts. We've been in the industry. We built the product for experts. And so our contact center can do the outbound calls. We can handle the inbound calls. I think our average statistic is something like 85% of our calls are answered within 14 minutes on inbound. And so we're able to really be a force multiplier for our customers. So it's more than just CRM, it's thinking holistically, what are the value adds that we can provide to make sure that you guys have a more efficient solution that you can really leverage. When we turn the page a little bit and we start thinking about our breadth of product offerings, one of the things that has come up several times is what is it that is most important to a lead, to a prospect? Anybody answer that to me? No? Okay. We find a lot of times that it's acknowledgement, right? Being able to acknowledge, being able to respond and engage with them in a meaningful way. So we're also thinking about the reporting and the analytics. We pull all of the data that's being captured and summarized manually right now, and we synthesize that in reports. And we know you guys are using reports, and it's fantastic, but how can we do that and be a little bit smarter with it? And so how can we take the reporting that we've got and really start to leverage with AI to make sure that we're catching the right information on the front end? Because there's an adage with data, garbage in, garbage out. And so what we want to do is really think about how do we help you capture the right information. If you can't capture it, how do we use technology to help you capture it and feed that in so that you're having tighter, better engagements with your prospects. And then on the reporting, that's going to give you a lot better insights as far as what's working, what's not working, where we have gaps. How are we doing back there in the presentation? I'd love to share some visuals. No? Okay. We had some really cool full motion animations. It was going to be fantastic. My apologies that the slide bar is not working, but when we think about you guys and how you're using our CRM right now, maybe we can open this up because I'm standing between you guys and one more speaker here. But what kind of feedback do you guys have? We're always 2 years in 1 month. We want to hear from you what's working, what's not, where do you find that you're having challenges with the CRM? Any feedback? More updates throughout the day. Oh, on the reports. So more frequent reporting. Is that just a daily refresh for you guys on the reports?
Like live, like when you update and like if somebody says pending and you go in and you update them to accepted or admit instead of waiting an hour or 2 hours if it was live, like it automatically indicated that would be wonderful instead of it just sitting there, because then you're like, wait a minute, did I update that? So like you need to make like your own mental note of, yeah, I updated that. So
That's great.
yeah.
What else? Yeah, that'd be great.
So as I know that one of our senior living apartment buildings just opened, I was seeing in Aline when I would send emails to the leads, because a lot of them came through the website, that they would only allow an email communication. Under the activities and tasks, I'm going to log what communication I had with them, like what I was doing with them. Below the section, it was already finding, it was pulling my emails. It was finding my communications on and assigning it in there, then I would just make a note to expound upon what I was thinking and where we were at in the process. Are you talking about with your rubrics, you guys are going to expand more into the communication and it'll auto-populate and capture some of that?
Yeah, so that's exactly it. So when we're taking any of that correspondence, we're digesting it now, and then we're running all of that through generative AI server essentially. And so we're bubbling all of that information up to you in a very concise summary. And that's right on that new dashboard. So when you come in, it's it's a little bit of product magic, that you essentially are getting a fully updated, intuitive outline on anything active in your network and your pipeline. Yeah. One of the other things that we're hearing quite a bit is when we go into our communities, there's like a issue with what do I do at the right time And so our communications efforts to plug in that one button, touch to call, touch to text, touch to email, touch to chat, that's really an effort to kind of take that guesswork out. Where do I start? What's the right outreach at the right time? We're really thinking about, this is all of the information you need to know, and here's the predictive, here's what you should do, and here are the templates that you can use. And so you're taking all of the guesswork out. And when I think about my day, a lot of it is downtime, trying to put all that together and figure all that out so that I have a meaningful outreach. And so if we can take all that guesswork out and just make an easy button for you, then think about how many more outreaches you can make and how much more personalized those outreaches are and how much more qualified that person is for that outreach. So yeah, that's great. Thank you. So that. And then I have the issue, of course. It is weird. Do you want to tweet that? Oops. All right, here we go. All right, so I've covered all this already, so we're going to kind of reverse engineer this, so bear with me here. But what we've been talking about is just the automation and the personalization with richer insights, and essentially boiling it all down. A cleaner, easier dashboard, a better user interface, smarter insights, more actionable. So this is really where we're going. And so what you're seeing here on the dashboard is that lead summary. And you'll note that we've kind of reorganized the dashboard a little bit. At the top, you'll see the log, the call, the schedule, the email, the text, and the chat. These are all interactive when button click to go. So when you have all the information summarized on that main dashboard, and you'll have your lead information, your referral information, your sales stage, your opportunity score. You're essentially talking about layering multiple nets to reduce any kind of error, oversight, but it's also surfacing up information that you may have taken 2-3 hours to pull together on your own. So speed to value for a seller, speed to value for the lead or person that you're going to be engaging with. Just a couple of proof points. So this is from internal data across our CRM users. We surveyed basically all of them that were on the current Inquirer CRM that you guys are using. And what we found is from implementation, 90 days from yes to go live, we're able to actually give them a lift from inquiry to initial meeting. This is really just all about the information I got to you guys. Right? So inquiry comes in from a place from caring.com. Shows up on the taskbar right in front of you. It's prioritized, assigned directly to you. Any of the profile information might have been pulled in from a web form or an integration. It's automatically summarized for you in a lead flow. Lead summarization. That information has all the relevant criteria, and then you just click a button, and it automatically logs whatever your email is in the CRM, logs whatever your text is. Chats. It also captures the chat dialogue. That's a blind spot for a lot of our customers. Well, we don't know what happens when they go to cell phone. Once they go to mobile, there's no real way I gotta go fill out a manual note or fill out a task or something to account for that activity. So that's all being done now for you. So that's going to increase that speed to value and improve that lift and inquiry to moving. Looking at kind of the sales day-to-day life, we're so far able to shave off 22 days of the average sales cycle. 22 days is a considerable amount of time back in your life. You guys can be focusing on the next opportunity, the next lead, building a better outreach, engaging more meaningfully, which we'll talk about momentarily, because when I mentioned Sherpa with that prospect center selling, that's something that we are finding customers have a hunger for. They're interested in better sales methodology. It's essentially value-based selling, if any of you are familiar with value-based selling. But it's putting that person's needs first, really understanding what the value you can provide is, what's most important. It might be a little bit of a longer sales cycle, but we've shown greater retention rates and win rates and higher occupancy rates. And so that's something our team will be spinning out to support our customers. We'll also be pulling in some functionality from that CRM into Inquire called the time in the selling zone. Essentially, this is a measuring stick, if you will, that allows us to identify these are the critical behaviors that really influence a better outcome, and how much time are you spending on those key behaviors. Are you doing the right things at the right time? So hopefully you see we're trying to take some of the guesswork out of it. This is Rubric, if any of you are not familiar with it, but this is a website survey. It's an application bolt-on that we have as part of our Aline suite. But this is really a proven form fill for your website that can engage with pre-leads as they browse the website in the group. It's designed to be very passive, so it's not confrontational. It doesn't come across as a sales tool. It's a nurturing tool, so it's going to ask them information. You can help them, guide them, and advise them. But it's really powerful because we'll capture all that information and then we'll feed it back into the CRM. And again, that's where we'll keep a shadow record as well. So if that person was on your site 2 months ago, and then all of a sudden they show up as a lead to replace the mom, you already have that information. And so we can do a duplicate check on that. So just a few more proof points on Rubric, but I think what we'll do, just because this has been a little bumpy, let's have everybody stand up and do some rock, paper. No, I'm not going to do it again, guys. Just making sure you're all still with me. I really, you're not going to be able to replicate a John here, guys, unless I'm giving away, like, you know, Yeti coolers and stuff. I don't think that's going to happen. So this is really some pretty advanced stuff. This is our embedded communications. So we call this a communications package. But really what this is this is leveraging the best of AI that's out there. We're not trying to take the personalization out of your roles, or we're not definitely trying to do your jobs. But what we are wanting to do is provide greater insights back to the business, and then surface up what's relevant to you guys, so you don't have to spend as much time guessing and checking and making sure you collected what you needed to do. In this, we're going to take all of your calls, all of the emails, all the chats, and we're going to digest all of those and use AI to provide transcriptions and readouts. That information is also going to be fed back into all of the reporting and the insights that are available within the platform. This is something that as a seller I spend a lot of my time trying to figure out, like who said what and when, what notes are accurate, where did we leave off, you know, what's next. This takes all the guesswork out of that for you. It is something that is an add-on. I'm not sure if you guys are leveraging that currently. Anybody, are you guys using this? Has anybody beta tested this or been a part of this? Okay. So this is not, you know, like flying cars in the future, like jets and stuff, which would be awesome. This is just next around the bend. This is stuff we already have in the platform. We're really sensitive to kind of over-promising on the future, but these are existing features and functions that are just being finalized and will be rolled out very, very soon. So we're excited about it. You know, most of the people that I've talked to in the market are excited about it. They love the notion of just having a really clean dashboard. They can just pop in. Everything's kind of queued up, conveyor belt style. They don't have to do a whole lot of homework, but they can start to really hit the ground and go. So we're excited about it. So this is the prospect-centered selling, right? So this can sound a little bit controversial when you say more time spent with fewer prospects. Everyone's like, what? I saw Jerry Maguire, that didn't go well. This is really a powerful brand builder, though. When we're able to coach our customers through value-based or prospect-centered selling, what we hear from them is that they form richer, deeper relationships, that the referral for the party period becomes the next lead, the next opportunity, and that their business sees higher occupancy rates, that their brand shines brighter, that they see more attention online, more interest, more inquiries. So this isn't something that you know, is a product feature per se. There are a couple of features, as I mentioned, that will pull into the CRM, like time in the selling zone. So it's less feature function, but it's really value-based. It's really intended to make sure that we're helping you guys and enriching you as a partner to us, not just another business we work with. So this is people-led. So on the reporting side, we have lots of different ways to look at reports. I was talking to Chad about this, and you guys are using your own BI solution and you're pulling all the data in. That's fantastic. But for a lot of our customers, they're still on Excel spreadsheets and they're trying to figure out what data do I pull? How do we make sense of the data? What's good look like? And so we've really gone about trying to distill down some best practice reports and dashboards that come out of the box. A lot of the other solutions in the marketplace, when you want reporting, it's always an add-on and add-on and add-on. We have a team that can do custom reporting for our customers, but really what we want to do is just provide out of the box, quick, easy dashboards that are all interactive. And so these are available to you guys. I encourage you to check them out if you're struggling with any of them. I'm sure that you guys are able to build anything to your heart's content in your Power BI instance. So that's awesome. So I'll take just a couple of minutes here, and I want to kind of touch on our roadmap. If we were to look in the future just 6 months, we have this vision of an open hub for where we can bring data in from any source. We have a huge network of partners and integrations, so whatever systems are in your ecosystem, we want to do that. We want all that information to feed into us. And then we want to be able to distill it and provide it to the users of our platform in a meaningful way, but then we want to be able to also spit the data out so that as a seller takes the data and uses it in your Power BI, you have access to it. But in the CRM, we want to be able to have it be intelligent and know you and learn you, and also learn your customers and your marketplaces. And so we envision a very soon-to-be world where you can go in and use the recommendations engine, and you can say, who do I focus on today? And it'll recommend it, and it'll provide you with a lead score or opportunity score. We'll roll up all that relevant information to you, and then suggest an email template or a text or an outreach template, because it'll say, this is what they prefer, this is the method of outreach that's going to reach them the most. Help me write an email, right? Templates that are available, but being able to go in and hit a button, it'll craft it, and then all you have to do is edit, right? There's an old adage in publishing, it's easier to edit than draft, and so we want to take that guesswork out. So if you think about, if you reach out to 50, leads a day, and you're taking 30 minutes, that's your whole day. You can click a button, give it a quick scan, change a couple of words, it's very personalized, and out the door. Maybe you do that in 2 minutes instead of 5 minutes. Right? These things add up, and that's wear and tear on you guys. It wears you out. It's fatiguing to track and monitor all of that. And so, thinking about, I don't know if you guys are using any of the open AI resources that are out there, but a lot of folks are using it like Google for search engine optimization or SEO. Like, where do I find this? How do I find that? I have colleagues and friends that are talking to their AI on a daily basis and having conversations, and it knows them and it's digesting everything, and it's putting out resources and content. And so we envision a world where we can do that for you guys. We can take everything that we're able to digest, omni-channel, and distill all that down in real time. So you have one single pane of glass. So this is a bit of an eyesore slide. I was not a huge fan of putting it in, but I got overridden. But as we think about, how do we elevate aging? We've been in kind of a reformation stage for a couple of years now as Aline. What we wanted to do was have the best CRM in the market, candidly. As we started to put the different CRMs together and we started to create the best in the market, we realized that most of our customers had problems and pains and challenges with all these other parts of the business. And so we've really been heads down building an entire ecosystem of products, ranging everything from like the rubric pre-engagement, to the CRM, to the care, EMR, leasing, billing, finance, all of our mobile applications. There's over 15 products now that our business can support our customers with. And our goal is to help our senior living customers get out of the software business and focus on the senior living business. If you don't have to manage contracts all the time, and you don't have to manage a dozen different vendor relationships and a dozen different user interfaces and applications and tools, you can bring all that together and be a hub. You can really simplify life and really create some momentum for the partners you work with. And so that's what we've done. This is kind of our golden circle, if you've heard that concept before, but this is really breaking down all of the different areas of the business that we can impact and all of the technologies that we provide and the value that our customers can get out of them. And then all of the integrations that we support. And that network just continues to grow. We just continue to find ways to pull in more disparate tools, more disparate data, and surface it in a meaningful and relevant way for the world. And so, I think in the interest of not having a deck, I probably blew through 20 minutes of content in about 5 minutes, which is fine, because I know you guys are fatigued and you probably would take any time back that you can. Really what we want to leave you all with is this. In technology, there's not a whole lot of new out there, to be honest. I mean, if you look at it, it's a feature function race to figure out how do I make a better mousetrap. Everybody's leveraging AI. What are they leveraging it for? Our whole focus is on providing a better experience, a more valuable connection with our customers, and translating that into solutions that you actually use because they help you, right? We started off that way. How many of you use your CRM and like, it's because it's a lot of work and you don't see the value out of it. That's probably the case with any CRM, honestly. If you talk to the folks at Salesforce, that's almost a bad word. Like, people are like cringe when you say that, right? But CRM can be a recommendation engine for you. It can be the wind behind your sails. It can make your days easier. It can take the guesswork and the variability out of your day. It can surface up relevant information and maybe prevents errors or catches things you otherwise wouldn't. And when you're doing your jobs at your best and we're helping you do your jobs at your best, it's going to surface that much better information back to the business. So that's really our goal. That's our effort. We really do take a lot of pride in the value we provide to our customers, to you guys, and we really want to help you elevate aging and what we're doing together. So that's pretty much all I have for you guys for today. We can spend a couple minutes here if there's any questions or further follow-up. I do have a couple of points that I got that I'll raise back to our teams when I get back to the office.
Is there a way on the calendar to show a history of the sales calls that are completed? Oh.
Is there a way on the calendar to show a history of the sales calls that are completed? I know that they go into the activities, but whenever you look at the calendar view, it only shows sales calls that aren't completed, so it won't show the history, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so that's a report thing. We've actually had that come up a few times, and we've been asked to provide reports for that. We are thinking about that. That is definitely something we're working on. A lot of it is dictated based on what the integration will enable us to do. So we have a gentleman, Krishna, who works on our integrations and our relationships, and is trying to build those out. That is one of the value props that we're taking into consideration. Yeah. Thank you. I get it, stoic crowd. We got these cool t-shirts and now what do we do? It's okay. All right, well, my email is here. If you guys think of things that come up, again, some of the reporting refresh, that's great feedback. I think that, the call data being a little bit more accurate, showing bi-directional is also good feedback. So if there's any other thoughts, feedback, we'd love to hear it. Email me. Pretty responsive. Just put data C in the title or the subject line so I don't think you're spam. I'd be happy to talk to you guys. But really appreciate it. We'll give you back a couple minutes and maybe pivot over to the next person and get you to lunch that much faster.
Thank you, Brian. I appreciate it. Thank you for coming in today and speaking to the team. When we talk about innovation, right, we need our partners. That's the reason we brought Aline in today. They've been a great partner of ours, obviously enhancing our CRM capabilities. He was just talking about AI and functionality of AI. I mean, it's obviously going to change a lot of what we do, the processes of what we do. We're excited about it, because it'll help our workflows. It'll be quicker, more efficient from a sales team perspective. It'll give you tasks that you need to complete, and obviously complete some of the tasks for you, which is kind of nice too. So there will be a lot of automation coming our way. Please, though, like you said, email me if you guys, or Stella, or your regionals. If you guys have any ideas, we meet with Aline on a pretty routine basis. We're just trying to make everyone's job easier. We want to work smarter rather than harder, right? We're trying to figure out ways to be able to get you guys into the sell zone. And I know it's different from SNF to senior living. When he was talking, right, the sales cycle on senior living is a lot longer, so they're cutting that back with a lot of these automations. Same on the SNF side. And we all know it's super important that we got to get the bedside as quickly as possible, right? There's a lot of automation that we want to be able to create within the CRM to send out emails and communication and text messages to families as quickly as we can before the competition gets there. So there will be a lot of innovations that we do very, very soon. We're in the process of that. Stella and I reviewing some companies with AI, and then obviously working with Aline on it too. So more to come. But if you guys have any ideas, please reach out. I mean, we're all ears. We obviously want to make your jobs easier and be able to keep you guys in the selling zone. So that's innovative. So now I'm going to bring up our fearless leader of ASC. I have the pleasure of working with him each and every day. Steve has been a huge instrument to our success here. I'm excited, obviously, for him to talk with you guys. Like I said, he's been an innovation of change. He's got a ton of ideas, kind of the future of ASC, where we're headed, and I'm excited about it. And I get to hear it, like I said, and sit with him on a routine basis and be able to hear kind of his vision for ASC and kind of where we're going. And obviously excited about the vision. And like I said, he supports sales, he supports our team. He talks with me routinely about our business partners, who we're partnering with, what our hospital ACO contracts. He's fully involved, and obviously I'm super glad he's here to speak with you guys today. So I'm going to bring to the stage Steve Van Camp, our CEO, as well as David Davies.